Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Is this lamp gonna like ruin
I
your
don't think
life?
so. I was
Maybe.
trying to angle mine so
Oh,
like the window wasn't in the way.
all right.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good.
Good. Did you have a gig today?
I have a gig tonight.
Nice. Awesome. Where are you playing?
Live Oak.
Hmm, never been there.
It's on Music Row, off like Demumbrian. It's
Cool.
just singer-songwriters and stuff tonight, so I have a little slot, and my family's in town, so they get to come see, which is nice.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. I see you
Yeah,
have a loser's cap on. Do you play there ever?
I do. I do sometimes hit losers. Duck Blind too is now attached to it. Riley Green's new bar.
Oh, okay.
He bought out Winners.
Sweet.
That was attached to it. So now that's a thing. So I've been playing there a little bit. I just built a full band down here, so we've been doing some shows over at Duck Blind, which has been fun.
Cool. That's awesome. Good for you.
How about you? What have you been up to? Playing a lot or what?
Yeah, trying to. So like the music scene in the Midwest is just getting back to being busy now because it's cold and crappy up here in the winter. So
Right.
a lot of the music world is fairs and festivals and outdoor events. So it's kind of like shuts down from November to about now. So we're getting busier by the week, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
we
that's
just
good.
played a show up here and opened for Velvet Rodeo. Have you heard of them? I guess
No.
they were based out of Nashville. So and then the girl, what is her name? Well, anyways, I think she plays down in Broadway quite a bit too. So but anyway, yeah, so that was cool. Otherwise, we don't have anything now until the award show.
Okay, cool. Well, that's coming up quick though. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
two
2
weeks
weeks.
or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations again on the Entertainer of the Year nomination. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited for
Thank
you.
you. I'm super excited about that. I was like, what? No way.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. Definitely it's
It
just
is.
validating. You know, at the end of the
It
day,
is.
like to win, to lose, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you were recognized and someone
Right.
noticed the hard work you've put in throughout the year. I think that's
Yep.
huge.
Yeah, it is. I was like, no, no way. I can't believe that. So yeah, it was cool. And it does feel really good. You know, we last year was the first time I attended the award show because I'd only been a member for about
Yeah,
a year. And after that I was like so inspired and so like I just want to get with it, like put everything I got into it this year and see what, we can come up with and
yeah,
so getting, my album out and then getting those recognitions was like, yes, all the hard work that we pushed for this summer like really paid
right.
off. So
No, totally. That's a hell of a year. An album,
yeah, yeah.
nominations, all of it. That's great.
Are you going to the award show?
I will be there. I will
Good,
be there. It
good.
is. Last year was my first time going, and I became a member like a few days before we even went to the award show. I had no idea what was going on. My mom was like, sign up for this, whatever, and kind of came across it and introduced it to me. And she's a big PT listener, so she was like,
Mhm.
yeah, runs a thing, whatever. And yeah, so I signed up a few days before we left, and we went down to the award show to just see what it was all about and kind of put some faces to names and meet some people
Mhm.
and whatever. And I knew a few people already in the organization, so I kind of at least knew a few faces walking into things. But obviously met tons of people and just kind of got to see what the organization was even about.
Right, right.
And then, yeah, I mean, kind of, same story as yours. It definitely lit a fire under my ass to, kind of work hard and get music out and meet people and network and all that. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful to be going back for my first kind of real awards show.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
member, active member. And then, yeah, like you said, to have the nomination is
Hmm.
huge. So,
Yeah, it really, really is. So what's changed for you in the last year after you really pushed hard?
oh my goodness, it has been an insane year, and in the best way. I mean, I have played every show you can imagine in front of 7 people, and 5 of them were the staff, and one of them was me, and one of them was my guitar player. And I have played for truly 70,000 people at sold out US Bank Stadium show, opening up for Zach Bryan. So
Oh
that
my
was
God,
awesome.
no way. That is so cool.
Yeah, so this last year has been really good to me. I've done some arena stuff. I did Target Center. I did the national anthem for the Lakers and Timberwolves game, which was really really cool. Of
My
course,
God.
the stadium show with Zach and being able to be on the Quitting Time tour was awesome.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. How does one end up in that position to get an opening gig like that?
I know it sounds cliche, but right time, right person, right place. Like that's just, I mean, I think that's how a lot of big opportunities end up kind
Hmm.
of coming forward, is just being there and being prepared to say yes and have that offer presented to you and know that you have, the back end package said and done, and you have the experience, you have the grit, you have the grind, you have the confidence, and you can go in and you can do it.
Hmm.
So that opportunity came to me through a photographer I work with, Brad Matala in Minnesota. He is a phenomenal like content guy. He shoots stuff. He has studios in his place. So he's a huge advocate for a lot of us musicians, especially local live musicians and things like that. So I had just come down here to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was maybe here for like a week or two, and he texted me and was just, oh, so casually like, hey, do you want to play US Bank Stadium opening up for Zach Bryan? And I was kind of like, yeah. And then I also want $1 million, and I also want a record deal. Like, if we're just listing things we want in life, sure, yeah. And he was like, okay, great, I'll let him know. And I was like,
Wait, what?
okay. And so during COVID, a guy named Steve Drymalski. He is part of a band called Sundown 47, which is who I played with at US Bank Stadium opening up for Zach. Him and Brad became friends during COVID, and Steve put out an album, and with the help of Brad recording it and doing some content for it and all of that stuff. And so they become friends. And Steve was like, hey, I'm doing this opening act thing for the Zach Bryan tour. I really need some female like vocalists and some backing and female presence on stage. Do you know anyone? And Brad was like, I actually have just the girl for you. And so he passed my name along to Steve. Steve checked out my stuff. He gave kind of the green light to Brad to offer me the slot. And then obviously I took it. And after that, it was just like rehearsals and getting to the Twin Cities. And then next thing you know, you're standing in front of 70,000 people.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. It was a total, I mean, dream come true. Like, I know that, like I said, sounds cliche, but
Yeah.
I mean, those are the moments that we all work for in our career,
Yeah,
aren't they? You know what I
they
mean?
are. Yep.
Just kind of another validating moment of like, okay, you
Oh,
know what? Like,
sure.
if nothing else, I at least know that I am doing what I am supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
Because if I was doing what I was not supposed to be doing, opportunities like this would not present themselves to me.
Right. That is amazing. I can't even fathom the feeling to walk out there that night.
It was incredible. And it was just cool too to like be a part of the setup of it, the tear down of it, seeing the
Yep.
behind the scenes, seeing like, what that all looks like, because that tour, the Quitting Time tour, was the biggest tour in the world. Beat the Taylor Swift tour and everything. Beat the Eras tour, the whole
Seriously?
9 yards. Yeah, it was the number one tour in the world. And so it was crazy just to see like
Oh my.
the magnitude of that and setting that up and having all the buses come through and the team that it takes to do something like that. I mean, like I said, I was sitting there talking with everybody from bus drivers to audio engineers to people who were just manning doors and to Zach Bryan. Like, you really got to see the whole entire thing through, which I think is really cool too. And of course,
Oh
that
man.
definitely lights a fire under your ass too. I want
Oh
to do that,
yeah.
and I want to sell out the stadium myself under my own name, and I want to have other awesome local acts backing me someday.
Yes.
So,
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That is such a cool thing. I love that story. And if, that's what, yeah, you're exactly right. That's what we all work for. And
yeah,
so cool.
yeah, it
That
was.
it just like shows you that even someone from the Midwest that, you know, feels like you're just an average whatever that will never get anywhere, is perfectly capable of having those huge moments and those big dreams come true, just like someone that comes from, a long line of
100%.
whoever's, like it's really that's really like, wow, it is, our dreams are reachable. So good for
100.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was
That's
cool. And it
just
was
so
fun
cool.
too because they came through and they did like the Quitting Time tour party here in
Mhm.
Minnesota. And so I got to go to the tour party, which was awesome, and
Woo!
just like kind of hang out with everyone and just do like the networking and the hang. I mean, that is
Yep,
so important in this industry. I
it
think
is.
the music is huge and everything that goes into it and behind it is huge, but at the end of the day, like shaking the hands and having the drink and hanging out and swapping stories
Yep.
that have nothing to do with the show, that is super important. So I'm grateful that I had an opportunity on such a grandiose scale, on such a tour this big, to be able to have that moment too, the offstage moments. I think
Oh
that's really
yeah.
cool.
And you'll remember that forever.
Oh God, yeah, yeah,
Like,
totally.
oh, that is just so cool. I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
And then now you just built a whole band.
I built a band. So I have had a band in Minnesota for a while now, and we've done some fun shows and lots of opening act things. We've done, our own fair share of headline shows and things like that. But um, obviously my bandmates live in Minnesota,
Right.
and they did not come down to Nashville with me. They are all rock stars in and of their own, and they all back tons of great artists, and they tour, and they are venue owners, and they are great guys, and they have tons of cool opportunities and things going for them up north. So
Uh-huh.
they kind of stayed there and have kept their home base out of the Twin Cities area. And then I've moved down here to Nashville, Tennessee, and yeah, I started getting some local opportunities for full band gigs, and it was kind of like, well, that sucks because my band lives in Minnesota. So we're going to start from scratch here and see what we can build.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of great guys down here that are also playing with me and really helping to represent me and championing me, which is awesome. And they're all fabulous individuals as well and have some artist careers going on. And some of them play with other artists and songwrite and the whole nine yards. So we've really been trying to, get a good set together and just
Yep.
get to know each other and things like that too. I mean, I think that's part of it is the band
Oh yeah.
camaraderie and just
Yep.
like you
That's a
said, the hang.
huge, huge part of it. You've
Yeah.
got to, yeah, you have to have that camaraderie or it's not going to work.
Yeah, you can hit all the right notes, but if you're not
Mhm.
sitting there doing it with a smile on your face or jumping off your amps or knowing that at the end of the show you're all going to give each other a big old hug if it went to shit, like then it
Yep.
doesn't matter.
No, no,
And
no.
people see that.
Yeah, we're just having this conversation, like how important of an element it is to have that family in your, as a band, because
Mhm.
yeah, everybody's going to have their shit moments and everybody's going to, have times where they're like, oh, I'm sorry, that was on me or, I should have done that or whatever. And yeah, you've got to be able to like lean on each other and really feel like, they've got your back. So,
Well, and
so
even just
important.
off stage, like it's important. Guys, tonight isn't my night. I have X, Y, and Z going on at home.
Yep.
And you need to have people where you can tell that to, feel comfortable
Right.
telling that to, and have people
Yep.
that afterwards are going to look at you and be like, perfect, got it,
Yep.
gotcha. Do
And
your best and we'll handle everything.
yeah. And really, I mean, like I spent way more time with my bandmates all summer long than I ever did with any of my family.
Mhm.
So you have to, you just have to.
Yeah, and especially just me being out here, having moved to Nashville and not having mom, in
Hmm.
the room or my sister down the street or whatever. It's like you really have to lean on some of these outside sources and some of these people that you meet along the way
Yep.
during such a huge transition like the one that I'm kind of going through right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been good. We've set up a great band down here, and like I said, we have some cool opportunities already down here playing Duck Blind and Losers and things like that. And yeah, continuing to just try and get some opening act things in the books and hopefully travel, tour, hop on opening act
Yeah.
slots for whole tour long sessions and things like that, and
Right.
end up in a bus soon. And then after that, planes, trains, automobiles, and private jets, right?
That's right. That sounds like the beginning of a good song.
I think so. I think so. I'll cut you in 50%, all right?
Have you been doing much writing?
Every day. Every day. You have to write. You have to write down here. I mean, and you have to write bad songs. And
Right.
that was a very, very hard pill to swallow as a perfectionist. That
Right.
not every song is going to be a hit.
Right.
And I was very fortunate that the first song that I ever released, my debut single release, it it got on Sirius XM radio, um,
Really?
which is great. Yeah, it was cool. It was very, very cool. I'm very, very grateful for all the doors that opened. I mean, that's essentially why I'm in Nashville, Tennessee now, is because that song really put it on my radar, and I would like to say put me on Nashville's radar.
Yep.
So, but with that success also comes the pressure of, well, I just wrote one song, put one song out for my first time ever, and it did all of these things, got me record deal opportunities, publishing deal conversations, Sirius XM radio, chart topping in Canada, like you name it.
Hmm.
And then you're expected to just put out a song that maybe doesn't do as well and be okay with that after. That's
Right.
that's tough. That's very
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the success of that first single, but I also think it's put a lot of pressure on me to continue to make sure that every song is just that good and if not better.
Right. Right.
And I am grateful because I do feel like every song I've put out since has opened up different doors of tons of different magnitudes,
Mhm.
from something of Zach Bryan to just even getting your foot in the door at a new venue
Right.
or meeting my band down here who's like, hey, I dig your songs and I listen
Yep.
to them and I like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but yeah, so, learning to write every day and and swallowing the pill that not everything is going to be a hit, and not every you could be in a room with the two biggest songwriters in Tennessee, but it doesn't matter if you guys don't do this.
Right.
And like learning that too, like just because someone comes in with a name or comes in with a big cut or whatever doesn't mean that you're going to get that out of them that day either.
Right.
Um, so I think learning some of that in all of this too, and just the reality that not every day is a great grandiose success story, and there are plenty of days that are really, really, really hard and really not fun and really not successful, and that's part of the grander, greater picture of success is learning to fall on your face so hard.
Exactly. And I'm sure any artist that's at the top right now has gone through that. I mean, there's no way you haven't, right? So
Absolutely.
you have to look at that and take it with, the lesson and the whatever you learn from that to be stronger for sure.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I am just so grateful that we even get to call this a job. Like, fine, I'll fail.
Yeah.
I will happily fail because I get to fail at something I love.
Right.
That's more than a lot of people. Other people fail at shit they hate. Imagine that.
Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
At least I'm sitting here tripping over a dream that I wouldn't trade for the world.
Yep.
So
what was the thing that happened that made you go, I need to move to Nashville?
the SiriusXM thing.
Okay.
Once that song got on SiriusXM, it opened some doors on Music Row down here with CSAC and Warner Music, Warner Chappell Publishing, and just opened up some conversations with some of their representatives and things like that. And it was very cool. I got to sit in a lot of big rooms and a lot of couches where a lot of famous asses have been. So that was very cool. But at the end of the day, all of the conversations pretty much ended with, you need to move to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it. You're doing great. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're checking all these boxes, and that's awesome. But you need to move down to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, like I said, Nashville wasn't really something on my radar too heavily. My mom, one day, randomly, all my friends were doing a spring break trip, and my mom hit me up and was like, "Hey, I know that I'm just like your mom, but all your friends are on spring break. Do you want to go to Nashville with me?" And I was like, "Sure." After that, I think I played 11 stages in the first 4 days we were here. I fell in love with the city. I mean, it's so easy to fall in love with. You're in Music
It
City.
is. I love it there. I love it there.
Totally. So it's just yeah. So Nashville came on my radar through business, through SiriusXM, through Warner, but also through just a silly little vacation with my mom and older sister where we had a great time. And I realized there is fun down here. There is a life for me down here. And there also are business opportunities for me down here. And there's a lot you can do in the Midwest, and I'm so grateful that we have the support we do in the Midwest. We have venue support. We have things like the Midwest Country Music Organization. We have people like PT who are championing for us on his own station where he doesn't have to do that. You know what I mean? And and so much artist support. Even the fact that me and you are on this phone call, I dig this. This is so cool.
Me too.
I love, and just being able to network and meet people and support people and be like, oh man, I can't wait for her to win Entertainer of the Year. That isn't the climate everywhere you go in the world.
Right.
And I'm grateful that we have that in the Midwest. And I feel like we have that in Nashville too. But the thing we lack in the Midwest, obviously, is just the industry.
Mm-hmm.
We're not an industry hub, and most places aren't. The places are New York, LA, Nashville, and nowadays kind of Austin, Texas, that area.
Right.
So I just kind of realized if I really want to do this, and I really want to do it at the level that I aspire to do it at, the best place and the best chance I have where I am personally at in my career right now is Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, I could change at the drop of a dime. I don't know. I don't know if this is my forever city, my 10-year town, or if I'm going to be here till my lease ends. I have no clue. I have no idea, but that's part of the beauty of this job in this city. And what we do is we get to then just throw a guitar on our back, hop on a tour, and travel the world for a while after if we want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta be brave. You gotta be brave. Yeah. For
Definitely. But yeah, essentially industry brought me down here. SiriusXM brought me down here. The cool opportunities I've had so far have brought me down here, and honestly, the love of music.
Right. So, I don't have a ton of writing experience in the way of doing anything with them after I've put them out there. But, when you write with other writers or whatever, then, okay, so you got this song and you put it out, but in your own way, on your own name and whatever. But what do you do with it? Do you have places that you pitch it to for other artists to cut, or Or like maybe this ties into how your song ended up on Sirius XM. I don't know. But a lot of people are like, I have all this great music. What do I do with it now? And I'm kind of at that point too. Like I would be more than willing to let someone, bigger than me cut something of mine just to open a door, but I don't
Right.
know what to do with it. Like, how do I even get it there? So,
That's a great question. I feel like I have kind of had just a crazy story. Like like I said, I really feel like I'm the definition of things happening in the craziest, most organic, wild. How did this just end up? That is my life. I feel
right,
like.
right.
So essentially, what kind of happened to me and the progression of things in my recent years of my career. I'm a part-time nurse.
Right. That's right.
I went to nursing school up in Duluth, Minnesota, and moved back after nursing school to the Twin Cities, and kind of was just like, I don't know, what do I do now? What do I do with this music thing? What do I do with this nursing thing? I have this weird degree. What the hell? What's going on? I'm 21 years old, and now I don't know. Life is weird. What do you do in your 20s, right?
Right.
And I was seeing a guy for about 7 years at the time, and we had just broken up, and so my life is just on its head, right?
Right.
So I sign up at the ripe age of 21 for Tinder for the first time. Okay.
Okay.
I'm a little late to that game, but I hop on Tinder and I end up going on a date with this industry guy in Minneapolis. And we went to a little dive bar on like a Wednesday afternoon at like noon. And we were the only people in there. And there was a stage in the corner. And so I was like, hey, I'm Monique Smaz and I play guitar and I would really love to play that stage someday. And they kind of were like, cool, great, rock
Right.
on, awesome. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to write down all my information on this cocktail napkin and I'm going to give it to you anyways. And if you throw it away, that's fine. Just do it when I turn around. Okay, thank you. And that pretty much is what happened. They just kind of were like, oh, whatever. And they gave it to, at their time, the booking agent. And they did give her the napkin and they were just kind of like, hey, this little girl came in and wrote her name on this napkin. Here you go. I don't know, see what happens. And she was just like, all right, threw it in her purse. Crickets.
Mhm.
3 months later, she was cleaning out her purse, found the napkin from this one-off random Tinder date I was on, post 8-year breakup, gave me a call, found me on social media, was like, hey, you're pretty good. I was like, thanks. She's like, I booked for that place that you were wanting to play.
Mhm.
Like, all right, cool. She's like, I would love to, have you, hire you, whatever. So I did. I got hired. That place is called the Northeast Palace and has since been such a pillar in my career and has just been such a bar and a venue so near and dear to my heart. The owner is one of my best friends in the world now. Like, it's funny kind of looking back on this story now just because I am so tied to this place and just love it so much. But
Uh-huh.
so yeah, so then she booked me. And then that night, I remember we were sitting at the bar. I had just played the show and she walked up to me and she goes, so do you have management? I'm like, nope. At this point, I barely even have my head on straight, let alone management. Absolutely not. What are you I just gave you my info on a cocktail napkin. I don't have management. And I'm like, no. And she goes, well, do you want some? And I was like, yeah, probably. And so then that started kind of a managerial artist relationship with us.
Mhm.
So I was working with this company called Hooga House. And so then fast forward, I'm playing the Palace now sometimes, just doing my cover shows. I'm working with Hooga House, trying to kind of develop some things with me, whatever. And at this time, I'm not writing very much. I'm not a big songwriter, but I was getting ready one day in my bathroom before playing a show at the Northeast Palace. And I just came up with this little hook of my debut single, Let Me In. Can I stay with you till morning? I just was singing it, getting ready, putting makeup on. I've been feeling kind of lonesome. And then I posted it online and my manager reposted it and it got tons of love online and everyone was like, where did we find this song? Where did we find this song? And then she called me and was like, hey, like, let's put that song out. And I was like, what
It's
song?
not a song.
What are you talking about? That chorus that I wrote doing my eyeliner? Like, I mean, okay. So she's like, well, if it's not done, finish it. So I finished the song. We then took it to the studio. I reached out to some people who I knew bandmate wise and had kind of been working with a little bit from my time in something called the School of Rock, which was an after school music program I did for about 10 years.
Mhm.
And I reached out to some of my old friends there, asked them if they would like to come and be a part of the song, essentially kind of, form this band and
Mhm.
the very early stages of my band. And let's put this thing out. Let's get this recorded. Let's put it out. Let's see what happens with it. Everybody's wanting it because I sang it in the bathroom before a gig at the Palace. Let's see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we went to Creation Audio, which is a fabulous studio in Minneapolis. A guy named John Fields helped make this come to life. We had Colin Johnson on guitar. He is fabulous. He's a total prodigy down here in the Twin Cities. Isaac Levy was on bass. He is also just incredible, and they're both tied to so many talented artists around here. And then we had Jay Corcoran on drums. He's also a fabulous drummer. And I was fronting. And so we went into the studio that day. We cut the song. After that, like I said, I was kind of under that managerial deal with Hygge House, and we had set up, publishing and this and that and all the back end goods. And then we started working with another label called Rock the Cause, and a guy named Scotty Harold, and he is a great champion for us local live musicians and does a lot with radio, and is just an awesome guy and wants to see us all succeed here in the Twin Cities. And so we kind of handed the song over to him. We were pushing it on our end. And just posting it and talking about it and driving it to people and telling people to pre-save and all the typical things that you have to do. We did them all. You have to do them.
Right.
And then it got into the hands of Rock the Cause, and he was pushing some things too as far as radio went. And then we had some good luck in Canada. Had good luck with The Current. 89.3 The Current has been hugely supportive of me. Diane Miller has been awesome. And so they made it Song of the Day, which then kind of helped people pay attention to it, because The Current does have such a great reputation. And now you have a song that's Song of the Day of a debut artist who is now kind of forming her brand and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of started turning some eyes towards me. And then, eventually it did get picked up by SiriusXM. They saw the success that it was getting on The Current. They saw people downloading it. They saw people reposting it. They saw people just caring about it. And I think they also were just kind of like, this is great for a debut. You're ripe, and we want to get a hold on you to see where you could go and be able to say, hey, we were back when,
Yep.
They started playing it, got lots of love there. And then Warner Music picked it up because, to be honest with you, the A&R rep got in her car after the gym one day, heard it on the radio, looked me up on Instagram and sent me a message. And was just like, hey, I heard your song on the radio. I work for Warner. Would love to meet with you. At this point, I have no idea who Warner is. I have not a clue who Warner is or who this woman is. So I'm like, oh, la-di-da, I'll check my Instagram message. Oh, yeah, some girl messaged me. She loves my song. She works for Warner. Anyways, da-da-da. And my management's like, back the hell up. What do you mean? What does that mean? What did she say? Who? What the hell? And so the next thing you know, we got the deal all set up and a meeting set up at least with Warner Music. And then my team and I, Hygge House, we came down here and started renting a place in Nashville for a few months, and we did the thing and checked out Music City, did our first extended stay, and just kind of rubbed elbows with all the people who have been showing love to the song along the way, and then had that meeting with Warner. I ultimately did not get offered a publishing deal or a record deal that meeting, which is fine. And looking back on it, I didn't deserve it. I wanted it, but just because you want it doesn't mean it's time. But of course, when you're the one there and you think it is, you're just so hungry for it that it doesn't matter. But looking back on it, if I would have gotten that record deal 2 years ago, I would have shot myself in the foot, and I'd probably be the washed up artist that I'm trying not to be honest with you, because I would have just ruined my own opportunities. Yeah. Because I wouldn't have known what I was doing with them. Right. So ultimately, looking back, it is a huge blessing in disguise that all worked out the way that it did, because I've still been able to maintain those relationships. They still are so supportive of me. And like I said, a lot of those conversations, the big reasoning for not even giving me things or wanting to sign me was, you are early on in your career. You have one song out and you don't live here. So how about write, keep writing, keep working with the people you're working with, keep adding people onto your team, keep, trying to strengthen your reach and move. And when you move down here, you give us a call, you show us the work you've put in, because we want to see that you've put some in. And then we'll talk about signing you. So now we're just kind of at the point where I'm doing all of those things. I've moved down here. I have kind of added some stripes on my letter jacket of venues and stadiums and arenas and everything in between, and collaborations of who I've worked with and who they've worked with. Got into some great writing rooms and had opportunities as far as that goes. But ultimately, my situation was a little personally tailored as far as how my music got to where my music went. Right. But I think on a grander scale, it's important to push online. I mean, I hate social media. I live under a rock. If it weren't for my career, I would probably have a T9 flip phone right now. I don't do the socials, but it is unfortunately so important in our career.
It is.
And you really never know who, you could have 6 likes on that post, but one of those likes might just be the A&R rep of Warner Chappell. You have no idea.
Right, right.
So I think that's big, is trying to really push your songs on socials.
Hmm.
There's lots of tools on the back end, which I'm sure you're familiar with, showcases and marquees and all
Well,
of that.
it might be, it might not.
Okay, so yeah, so no,
So,
let's chat about that for a second.
yeah.
So when you put songs out, I'm kind of giving away all the answers right now. So hopefully we have some people tuning in so they can
No,
go
ma'am, I'm
get
not
songs
posting
all
this
the
video.
places. I love it. I
No,
love it.
kidding.
But yeah, so there's things when you post your songs onto the platforms that you distribute them through,
Mhm.
Spotify's, iTunes, Amazon Music, Pandora,
Yep.
and you can throw a little money onto your song.
Hmm.
So I mean, you can throw however much you want on
Right,
there. True.
right.
I think the minimum is like $100 to toss something in to support your song. But I
Hmm.
mean, if you have the money for it, which a lot of these labels do, and that's a lot of how they do what they do, because they have the finances to back that and to push these songs on the back end of these distribution places and whatever,
Right.
streaming services. So if you want to put 10K into it, you could do that. We put $200 into Let Me In. I will be totally transparent with you. We put $200 into pushing that when it first came out.
Okay.
It didn't really do too much. It got on one cool playlist. It didn't even get on an editorial playlist, but it got on a big streaming playlist, which has definitely brought in some numbers for Let Me In. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, but ultimately it throws some money into things like that, and it helps place your song into the right listeners. It helps pitch your song to playlist curators. There's also third-party places. I haven't ever used them, so I don't really know how well they work or
Right.
trustworthy or not, but I just know that they exist.
Yep.
Where you can go onto these websites and be like, hey, I want to put $200 into someone sending this to all of the best country rock playlist curators that work in Spotify.
Hmm.
That then they can do that. Is there a promise that they're going to pick up your song? No. All that money guarantees you is that it'll be sent to them. There's not even a chance they listen. Who even knows? But you're
Right,
paying to at least get your song there because you can't get that contact information elsewhere.
right.
Um, so utilizing things like that and some of those back end tools and opportunities that we have through posting, through DistroKid, through TuneCore, through whatever it is you use, through the Spotify's, Amazons, all that, iTunes. So I think actually using some of those, they've helped a little. I mean, enough to get it into, like I said, the right
Yeah,
door.
right.
Millions, not necessarily, but the right, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So I think that's been big. Playing live. Anytime you are on a stage and you have an opportunity to sing a song that's yours and tell a story that's yours, do it.
Yep.
Anytime you have an opportunity. And like I said, I don't care if it's in front of 6 people or 60,000. You do not
Right.
know who's sitting in that room and who they know.
Yep.
So I think that's been big too, is just anytime you can play that song, anytime you can rep that song, do it. I know all of us in the industry hate to be that person because it sucks, but anytime you can find kind of an opportunity to chat about it with
Yep.
someone in the industry, do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't be the weirdo who stretches for it, but
Right.
also love yourself. Go into conversation with
Yeah.
confidence, go in knowing your shit, knowing your worth, and knowing that I write great songs. I want you to hear them, and you're
Yep.
gonna love them when you do.
Yep.
And I think and I don't care if you believe that. Even if you hate your own music and you don't think you're good and you don't think the song is gonna go anywhere, I don't care. Act like you do, and it will take you so far. And yeah, honestly, I just think part of it too, like we've said, the music is so important, but so is the hang.
Yeah.
Be someone that people want to support.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Be someone
Yeah.
you want to support.
Yep.
Don't be if you wouldn't support yourself, if you were out of your own body, well then how can you expect other people to?
Yep. That's a valid point.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the
It's
same thing as wearing your own merchandise. How are you going to sell t-shirts if you won't wear it?
Yep. Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time with my stuff. They're like, "Oh, you're what you choose for shirts or whatever is always so good." And I'm like, "Well, because if I wouldn't wear it, you're not going to either." So,
Right. Yeah.
the first thing I do when I'm going up to merch is I feel it, feel how soft it is, feel, what it's made out of, or if it's going to fit nicely, or if it's going to be like a Walmart box t-shirt. And then, that's going to shrink 4 inches. And then be like, okay, I think
We're
I like
buying
this.
six packs and taping logos on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's like I am very picky about that stuff. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That same mentality should go for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think I've had kind of a unique journey thus far with a lot of my songs. Even just like Johnny. So that song and Let Me In, both of them. So they are now on Touch Tunes. So you can listen to those songs on every single Touch Tunes jukebox in the entire country.
That's awesome. So
Every state, every
that
bar, everywhere.
that should be something that your distributor does, right? Like
Nope.
not through your distro or your TuneCore or anything like that.
Nope, because TouchTunes is its own ball game. It's not. It
Okay.
doesn't fall in like the streaming service category per se. At least on the back
Right.
end of things like this.
Right.
So no, but even that, like the reason why that happened, a 12-year-old kid named Wes fell in love with my song "Let Me In." I don't even know how the hell he heard it or came across it. Just probably on socials or whatever.
Mhm.
Followed was just talking to his dad all the time. And was like, man, I just love this girl. She's so great. Go check her stuff out. Go check her stuff out. Whatever. His dad finally listened and was like, God, my kid is just obsessed with this song. What the hell? Listens to it. He's like, this is great. He reaches out to me and he's like, hey, my name is, blah, blah, blah. And I am the top TouchTunes distributor in the Midwest. And that being said, I have a lot of pull at the corporate level of TouchTunes because essentially all of us drunks at the bar in the Midwest are keeping TouchTunes in business. So cheers to that, folks. And he was like, so we are a top, distributor of TouchTunes here in the Midwest. They really depend on our usage in the Midwest to keep TouchTunes rocking and rolling. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm chummy with all the top dogs, and I want to get your song on there. And then it happened. Like, moments like that. It's just so. That's why I'm like, you never know who is watching or who they
Right.
know. 12-year-old kid fell in love with this song, and now it's on TouchTunes. What the
Yep.
hell? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
never know. So,
That
yeah.
is awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So, as much as I wish I could give you the answer of just like, oh, do this or do that, like, you can do it all and it might work and it might pop off and it might get you nothing.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
think that's just
I've
the way the
I've
world
really
is.
tried to have my hands in 87 different things because I'm like, at some point, one of these has to take off, whether it's a stupid video or it's my song on Spotify or it's, because someone saw me live at an opening show, or maybe it's because someone read my t-shirt, I don't know. But I really do try to have my hands in everything all the time.
Yeah, and I think also like with that being said, same. I'm trying to do the artistry thing. And if you want me to sing someone else's song and have my face be up there singing it, great. If you want me to write a song and have nothing to do with it after I leave this room, fine. But I
Yep.
think at the end of the day, like the thing that I have really had to remind myself of, especially lately, as I've been putting on these different hats, and of course you get attached to the song, and then you want, and then but then da, 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 like
Yep.
always do what is best for the song. Because if you do what is best for the song, it will always be what's best for you in turn. If you do what you think is best for you because you love this song so much and you think you could just sing the hell out of it,
Mhm.
I mean, cool. But like for example, I just wrote this like pop country song, and I went in with the intent of being just a songwriter.
Okay.
Fell in love with the song. I love that song. I love singing that song. I love playing that song, performing that song, all of it. I am not pop country. So at the end of the day, is what's best for the song for me to sing it just because I love it and just because I can sing it? No,
Right.
not at all. What's best for the song is for someone who is pop country to go absolutely murder it
Yep.
and show their following, hey, we wrote this awesome song. You guys love it. Here are the songwriters and their artists. Go check out their stuff. Like
Yep.
ultimately, if you always just do what's best for the song, it will help your career, even if you're not the one releasing that song.
Right.
So I think that's important too, is just like, having good and strong and clear intentions of all the things you're doing, of every show, every set list you make, every song you put out, every hand you shake, be intentional.
Yep.
I think that's important too, just kind of in pushing songs. All right, my computer's gonna die. Give me 1 second.
That's good. That's totally fine. What time is your gig?
9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
All the joys of Music City, right?
I know we were just talking about how I wish venues would do like 7 to 11 or something because it's so tough to work and then be like, okay, now I have a 9 to 1 a.m. gig tonight. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know about, I mean, I'm sure Nashville is completely different because there's a night scene all the time, but like where you are, where you're from in the Midwest, venues over here anyways, like the majority of the engaged crowd is gone by 11:30.
Yeah,
Nobody's staying until 1 in the morning. I mean, by that time, you're playing to the bar staff, the six people you were talking about.
right, yeah.
So it's like, and at that point, they're not making any money either. So I wish that they would adjust the hours to what fits our music industry up here. But
It's just hard though too, because in their defense, from a business standpoint, if our bar is already busy from 8 to 11, well, I don't really need you. I want you there when the bar is not busy, so you're bringing in people. So that's the
Right.
hard part of it too.
Yeah.
Here, like you just said, I mean, we have live music every single day, 7 days a week, everything from an
Mhm.
acoustic to a 12-piece band from 10 a.m. until 2 a.m. every
Yeah.
single day.
Yep.
Like sometimes, and I am a part-time overnight nurse, and so I'll do overnight shifts, and I do the 12 to 16-ish hour shifts. And um, yeah, it's like sometimes I get off at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and then I need to be at a gig by noon. And then I have another, and then I play for 4 hours, but then I have a 4 hour break, and then I have to play another 4 hour gig starting at 10 p.m. And then next thing you know, you are on Broadway until 2 a.m. starting at noon, and you're like, who am I to think this is okay? Like, what am I doing? Why have I been at the bar since 10? I was someone's nurse 12 hours ago. What do you mean?
You are a go-getter girl. I love it. I
Gotta
love it.
be. Gotta be.
Yeah, you do gotta be. What kind of nurse are you?
I was an ICU nurse for about 3 years in Minnesota, and then when I moved out here to Nashville, I kind of took a step back from how insane that was.
Hmm.
And now I just do like GI stuff, so stomach-based stuff,
Yep.
post-surgical things. I'm a nurse at a big hospital down here, one of the inner city ones. So
Cool.
yeah,
Good for you. Well,
works.
I work in a salon, obviously. Like here's all
I was gonna
the
say, are you
polish and
full-time
stuff on
music
the.
or not full-time music salon?
Yeah. Yeah. So I do the salon like 4 days a week. And then I usually take off early on Fridays because we usually have a show. So I'll work a half a day in the salon and then go and do music Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
In the summertime, we do a lot of like there's a lot more weekday festival stuff in the evenings, but
right.
for the most part, the music industry up here is very much weekend based. So it's
So
not a huge deal to have another job.
you're working like 40 hours a week then, main,
Yeah, yeah,
not
close.
music. And then what do you say you're pulling music-wise per week, hours?
Most of it's probably 3 to 4 hour shows Friday, Saturday. So, it's truly for the most part only 2 days a week. But then, like it definitely gets busier in the summertime. We'll do like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something, or the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Of course, that's 10 days straight of busting your ass and being up all hours of the day and night. So, you get your
It's a
fill
fun
in
one, though. I've always
then.
wanted to play that one.
It's cool. Yeah, if you ever get the time or the urge to come up here, please let me know because I would love
Yeah,
to help you hook up some gigs. Um,
totally, totally.
because yeah, I literally live right in Sturgis, so
And you're in
um,
Nashville quite a bit too.
I do. I try to go back and forth at least a couple times a year. I haven't been this year yet, but
So
I
who are you working with when you come down?
I don't know if you know who Anita Hill is. She
Hmm.
is a drummer on Broadway, but she is also in charge of booking for Kid Rock, Honky Tonk Central, Tootsie's, and Rippies.
The
So
Honky Tonk School circuit.
yeah, so when I come down, I always stay with her. She's our family, and then she'll if she needs a girl singer for this or that or whatever, then I'll do a couple of gigs. But
Oh yeah.
then I come. Here we go. Like my bad. So then I cut both my albums down there, and this last one I did out in Mount Juliet at Saxman Studio.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep. So that was really exciting, and so yeah, that's I probably will always have those guys do my stuff just because it's turned out really well, and I've gotten to know them now. But
Yeah. Grady
um,
is Grady is talented. He's a great guy.
he's awesome. You wouldn't think that
Yeah.
like when you first meet him, you're like, there's no way this guy is into doing country music. And then you're like, okay, he's really good at it actually. Uh,
Yeah. Yep.
but
Never judge a book by its cover down here, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah, he's awesome. How do you know Grady?
Just through the grapevine of Nashville. Everybody kind of knows Saxman Studios, and Grady's a pretty
Okay,
well connected guy.
gotcha.
A lot of friends of mine have gone and done some work at his studio. And at one point in time, I was looking at cutting a song down here, and everybody was like, "Go to Saxman Studios, go to Saxman
Really?
Studios." So I didn't end up cutting a song. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
end up cutting it down here, but yeah. So through the grapevine, but
Yeah.
I've heard really the best things. Like I said,
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, but I would love to come down and just spend some time doing more co-writing. The last time I was down,
Mhm.
when I wasn't working on my album, but just a different time, I got to do my first co-writes with a couple of people, and I'm like, man, I really love this. That was actually one of my favorite parts about being down there. So, I definitely want to make
Mhm.
that a priority. Maybe
Yeah, no, the
get the
Nashville
summer schedule.
co-writing scene is very interesting. It's very
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, to be totally like truthful with you, I would not have considered myself much of a songwriter before I like really was introduced to the Nashville thing and kind of had
Okay.
that kick in the ass for people to tell me to write. I
Hmm.
wasn't much of a writer. A lot of my like experience up until I did really launch my own career was cover songs and cover shows and things like that through the School of Rock, which I'm super grateful for because it did instill such a good foundation in my music career and stage presence and cooperation with others and being in a band and everything. Like I learned so much out of that, but unfortunately, what I did not learn how to do was write songs. So let me in. I wrote by myself getting ready in the bathroom.
Yep.
Just like Johnny, my second single, I wrote down here by myself in the bedroom of the Airbnb I was renting for my first time in my first extended stay.
Yeah.
The only song I've cut that I've actually like had any co-writers on is my very very last single, Holy Smokes, that I put out with a good buddy of mine named Jack the Underdog, and I'm actually the featured artist on that, and then also a songwriter, and there were four of us writers for that one. But other than that, my first two singles I wrote completely by myself. So co-writing was very new to me when I moved down here. I just
Yeah.
even started coming down here. Do you know the name Dave Kennedy at
Mm-mm.
all?
I don't think so.
So he comes up, he does some stuff in the Midwest, like once or twice a year usually. And then he also lives down here in Nashville, but he is one of the best songwriters, if you ask me, in this entire city. He's written with Shania and Travis Tritt, and he has some Larry Fleet cuts.
Really?
He's awesome. Yeah, he's great. He's wonderful, and he's just a cool dude. Like he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But he definitely is somebody who is a very high level writer, and writes with other high level writers,
Yep.
and awesome. And so when I came down here, I wrote with him, and he was actually my first ever co-write
Ah.
ever. And I still don't even think he knows this, to be honest with you, because I refuse to even make it look like I had never co-written before. But realistically, I had never written a song with someone else until I had met Dave and came down here to Nashville in April of 2023.
Wow.
So I don't know. That's yeah. So the co-writing scene is really awesome here in Nashville, and I feel like it's really made me stretch as a writer,
Mhm.
just because I am now writing every single day, and I am writing with intention, and I am writing just being okay writing a bad song,
Right.
and knowing that I'm still doing the right thing by writing a bad song.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and yeah, also like, the networking that comes with co-writing is incredible too. Like I've made some good friends out of just writing songs, honestly. And like I said, when you're down here in this kind of transition period, and I am all by myself, and I'm 24 chasing a dream that most people never make it in,
Yep.
and it can get lonely for sure down here.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
grateful for like the co-writing opportunities that have been brought to me, and the great people I've met along the way.
Aw, that's so awesome. Well, I would love to
But yeah,
come
if you
down
ever
and
are
do a
down
write.
here,
Yes. Yes. Let's
please,
please
yeah, please,
seriously make that a thing because I would love to come down and hang and write and just yeah,
totally.
do it.
Totally. Yeah, no, tons of people I would love to introduce you to that they would just eat you up. So yeah, come hang out for sure.
Yes, yes, because I would have I'm in the same boat. I would have never really considered myself as a writer. Definitely more of a performer first and then,
Yeah,
writer, but honestly, like the majority of my music that's out there, I wrote by myself. So yeah, it is once you start you're like, "Oh, okay." Because, at first you're like, "I don't know what I'm doing. This sounds stupid." Nobody's, it's like cheesy or, whatever and then yeah, then you get some validation and it's like wow I do have the confidence to do this like I can do that.
totally. Well, and it's just so funny because, and you probably like don't even realize this either. Like I didn't until I moved down here. How crazy it is that we even can write a whole song alone.
Right. I
Like
know.
I was like, that's all I've ever known. What do you
Yep.
mean? Why is that wild? And everyone
Right.
down here is like, I haven't written a song alone unless it's just been to like get it off my chest or to practice writing in,
Yep.
I mean, years. Some people never even really have and had success out
Right.
of a song that way. And I'm like, I've never had success out of a song writing it with anyone else. What do you mean?
Right. Yeah, I guess I've never thought of it that way but yeah,
Yeah,
Seriously.
no, like once you
That's
come down here, everyone's looking at you like you're crazy. And I'm like, I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Why are you writing with all these people, huh?
maybe that's our Midwest roots because we don't have access to a bunch of this stuff, so we just have to do it ourselves.
100%. I mean, and that's another thing that I've realized too, being in Nashville, like I am a perfectionist.
Me too.
I will not take an A minus. That thing better be an A plus, but I'm not going to go to
Yep.
class. But I do want that A plus. Like I'm totally that person. But
Yep.
I'm a control freak. I am, and I
Mhm.
hate it. It is my biggest downfall as a human being. I am such a control freak, and I like things done my way because I think that my way is the best way, and it rarely is, but that's what I think. And so coming down here, I really had to give up a lot of reins for things. And honestly, the biggest lesson I've taken out of all of the collaborations that I have done on all different, levels of that over the last few years, what's the saying? Like a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Right.
And God, is that true?
Yeah.
Like it's worth the couple $100 to go have someone shoot the highest quality content they can because then that burden is off of you and now you can just sit and write a song knowing you're going to get a great video.
Yep.
Having someone run your socials, if you can afford to do all of these things and like outsource all of these things, you're
Mhm.
going to get better results, you're going to be less stressed, and honestly,
Right.
like I said, your way is probably not the right way anyways. So go
Right.
let someone who knows what the right way is do the damn thing and then
Yep.
have that represent you in the best way possible.
Right. Right.
So
And
that's
yeah,
something
like,
I've definitely had to do too is like, yeah, learn to collaborate because it's going to help all of you.
yep, exactly. Yeah, I was writing out like all the things that for 2025 that now that I've learned that I want to do better or differently or whatever, like a goals list,
Yeah.
And I was like, collaboration is big on that list. Like, I really want to just try out that avenue because I know it's going to be beneficial regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It has to,
100%.
right?
And at the end of the day, like I said, even if like the actual collaborative project you guys get is not great, the connection that you make might be.
Mhm.
Like maybe that
Exactly.
song isn't what makes it to radio, but maybe the person you wrote the song with is why a different song of yours is on the radio.
Yep. Yep.
Like you never know, dude. It's
It's
crazy. You
it
never
is.
know.
It is such a connection driven industry.
Totally. Totally. No, yeah, yesterday and it's just funny. Like just like you have to be open to those things though for them to
Mhm.
actually fall in your lap.
Right.
Like I know it's so cliche to say and this applies to so many different areas of life, but I feel like any time that I have really obsessively chased something and been like I want this, I want this, I want this, I have chased it so far away. Chased it so far away. And then
Uh-huh.
the days where I'm just like, I don't know, man, I'm just here to sing songs and write and hope for the best. Like that's then when the label rep walks in and goes, "Hey, I really like you." You're
Yep.
like,
What?
today I don't even have makeup on. What do you mean you like me today? Like I'm so crabby today. Why do you like me? But then it's like the days that you're full glam and glitz and whatever, then no one shows
Yep.
up to them.
Yep.
You have to be open to receiving at all times, knowing that it's going to come in forms that you were not prepared for.
Yep. That's so true. Girl, I'm so proud of you. You're so inspiring. I love it. I can't wait for everybody else to watch this video and just be like, that girl, she's got such a good head on her shoulders and she is gonna do it. She's gonna do it. I'm so
Well, thank
excited to see you. I'm so glad that I met you and
me
that
too.
you're
I'm
part of
so
the
glad that we
org.
did this.
Yeah, I can't wait to hang out with you at the award show too.
I know, I know. I owe you a beer for sure.
Yes.
For this little talk, I owe you a drink at the award show. Are you going to be there all weekend, or what's your
Yeah.
game plan?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay. Are you
Yep.
going to go jam and everything on Friday? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. We're gonna come in on Thursday night, I think, because Okoboji is a nearly 9 hour drive for us. So it's a bit.
Oh, is your whole band coming with you?
Yes. Yes. So yeah, we're actually super excited. We're gonna be part of the show. So as a band, we'll get to perform one of my originals
Yes.
and we were even regardless of that, we were all gonna come anyways because we had so much fun last year. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't miss it anyway, but and neither would they. But now, there's even more of a reason for everybody to come. So
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be a 3 or 4 day weekend for us as a band and
Yeah.
just a fun time to celebrate all the hard work we put in the past year.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think even, this year I'm more excited to go too, not even because of my own like personal nominations for
Mhm.
going or like I'm also performing, like not even for that, but
Yep.
just now that I've been in it for a year and I know some more people, like I'm just excited to celebrate, like you just said, the
Yep.
entirety of the organization now that I actually feel like I know some
Right.
of these people a little
Right.
better.
Yeah, because
Um,
when we went last year, I didn't know anybody really.
I didn't know, I didn't
And
either.
especially being way in the on the western side of South Dakota, I'm like one of the furthest away artists that are part of
Right.
the org. So I really didn't know anybody. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was just kind of introducing and seeing what it was about and
Mhm.
being like hey, I'm
Yeah.
and then yeah, now this year will be way, way, way better.
Well, and last year I just went to the awards ceremony. I didn't like we didn't really know that it was a whole like weekend long thing. Like we just
Mhm.
got the tickets to the awards ceremony and we're like, this is the thing, cool.
Yep.
And then we show up and everyone's talking about the jam and meetings and this and I was like, whoa, 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 where have we been?
Right.
Turns out we were in St. Paul doing absolutely nothing and waiting to wake up in the morning and drive to the award ceremony. That's what we
Ah,
did.
and you could have been
Um,
there with all of us.
I know. So this year we're doing the whole thing. We're going all weekend long. We're gonna go to the jam and all that stuff too. My mom and sister are gonna come with me again this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so bringing my like second choice band. That's my second string right there. Is my mom and my sister.
Right.
Yeah, they'll replace big bad band members. No, but yeah, so we're excited. So it'll be fun. So I will see you all weekend long, which I'm excited for. So we'll
Good.
definitely be jamming at the jam on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Girl power.
Well, yeah.
Sweet. Well, have a great gig tonight. Where are you
Thank
at?
you. Live Oak tonight. Just doing a
Oh,
songwriter
that's right.
round
That's right.
tonight. Family's in town this week, which is really fun too. So my mom and her boyfriend rented a little spot. My sister's staying with me, so we're just doing like, I don't know. I'm being a tourist in my own city this weekend, basically hitting Broadway and going out and getting some food and seeing music and stuff and hanging with the band.
Cool. Well, have fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you again thinking of me for this and just calling me
Yeah.
and we talk your ear out for a little bit. This was fun. I would love to do it again. We should do this like
Oh, yeah.
it's like a yearly thing and just be able to
Yeah.
chat about what the hell we've both done all year because I think
Yes.
we're gonna have some busy 2025s for sure.
Yes. I agree. We're gonna make some serious waves this year.
Totally. All right, my dear. Well, I'm out of here. I'm going to go drink Jack Daniels and warm up my voice. All
I love it. We will
right,
see you in a couple weeks.
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay. Bye.